Hello and welcome to episode 7 of the Talkin' Rangers podcast. Today is Tuesday, November 14th. I am Bubbs alongside Joe. Joe, how's it going, man?
It's going good. Rangers have been
Yep.
consistently really fun to watch this year and playing really good. So can't complain as a Rangers fan.
Yep, we're rolling, continuing to dominate and win games. It is crazy to think we're sitting here. It is November 14th. The Rangers won't play again until Saturday, but the last time the New York Rangers walked out of a game without getting a point was October 19th. So we're going on just about a month here since the last time the New York Rangers did not come out of a game recording a point. That was obviously the Nashville game where they fell 4-1. Since then, they've won all those games except the one shootout loss to the Wild, but they redeemed themselves this week. And I kind of looked at these two games against the Wild and Blue Jackets as early season redemption games because both of these games that the Rangers lost to the Wild and the Blue Jackets, obviously the Wild just a week earlier and Blue Jackets a little bit even earlier in the season, were two games the Rangers could have won. The Wild game, they blew the 3-0 lead, and then it was the Blue Jackets game where they had the two goals get called back. So they come back, they beat the Wild, they beat the Blue Jackets, get some redemption. Before we break down each game, and there was a lot of action in both of them, what are your overall thoughts on these last two games for the Rangers as they continue to play really good hockey? And it really is, they're embodying the next man up mentality. Even Louis Domingue went out there and played really well against Minnesota. But what are your thoughts on this team right now, especially over the last two games?
Yeah, it seems like you're saying, like the guys are stepping up.
Yeah.
I think defensively, it feels like an anomaly. Like how could they be this much better? Pretty much the same exact team defensively this year than they were last year. It seems like if Igor plays the full season, I can't see how he doesn't win the Vezina because just him himself is a great goaltending. And then if he gets this defensive support, he's going to have insane numbers. Like Jonathan Quick, he's got to be, I don't know his exact save percentage, but he's definitely still in the 930s, probably a little in between like 2 or 3 goals a game, probably like 2.5 goals a game. It's like ridiculous. Like you said, Louis Domingue steps in, gives up 1 goal.
Yeah.
It's crazy how these goaltenders and just the defensive system has been structurally like almost perfect, how they're just limiting opportunities. And it feels like you can put anybody back there in net and they're going to win. It's crazy how good of a defensive improvement they had from this year to last year with virtually one change on defense, which is Gustafsson.
Yeah, totally. And they're doing it as well, as you mentioned, without Fox, which is just crazy to think that they've been this good with all these missing pieces. And it really is next man up because we went into last episode and we finished the episode talking about Igor looks like he's going to be back. He was back at practice and all that stuff. And then right when we ended the episode, you heard about 20 minutes later that both Igor and Quick are out for that Minnesota game. So Louis Domingue steps up, as we remember the spicy pork and broccoli story from the playoffs a couple years ago. He steps in and steps up in a big way at MSG. What were your thoughts on his performance, only allowing obviously 1 goal, 25-26, a 962 save percentage in a spot where nobody expected him to start, and he goes out there and does his job and leads them to a win, and 3 goalies now for the Rangers have recorded wins this year.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was good. I mean, obviously he gave 1 goal, but I felt like he really giving credit to the defense, not taking credit away from him, but I feel like he didn't have to face a lot of like high danger chances. I feel like the Rangers did a good job of letting him see the puck, stopping any odd man rushes. And I think when he had to make a save, he made the save. I thought it was really good in the game. And it's crazy. I mean, he's a third string. He's probably not an NHL goalie, but I mean, the Rangers made him look like a starting goaltender. So I think it's just really impressive with the coaching staff, how they can rotate through these goalies. Because I know at the beginning of the season, our thing was, what can this team look like if something happens to Igor? And so far, it seems like obviously you want Igor because he's probably the best goalie in the league, but they can win with any goalie. It feels like just how well they're playing defensively. But I thought Louis Domingue was really good.
Yeah, and it's just the whole season so far is a complete opposite from last year, because last year without Igor, the Rangers to start the season were terrible. This year, that's not the case. And again, you still want Igor to come back. He is still ultimately, when he's out there in the Vezina conversation, one of the best goalies, if not the best goalie in the National Hockey League. So you want him back at some point, potentially back on Saturday over this long break here against the Devils. Getting into some of the goal scorers, Trocheck has been really good. We talked about it a little bit before we started recording today. Since moving up to that second line for the Hedl absence, What have been your thoughts on Trocheck over his last 5 games? He's got 7 points all in the month of November. He's been rolling 3 goals, 4 assists, 7 points in his last 5 games and playing really well. What do you feel clicked? Is it the line change for Trocheck? What is it where he's caught fire here over the last couple games?
I think he's been playing good the whole year. I mean, I think he's second in the league in faceoff percentage, which is crazy because the Rangers usually suck in the faceoff department. But he wins faceoff. He's a good two-way player, good defensively, and I think maybe having more upside scoring wise, but his like Lafreniere and Panarin he's playing with now, so he's getting a little bit more guys that can score. So I think that definitely has helped him, but I think he's been really good all season, and he's such an underrated player in the league. And I think they looked, a lot of people were saying that the Rangers maybe made a mistake, too much money, too many years, but he's a guy that I think, again, faceoffs, hard forechecker, and good both ways. I think now you can see him really clicking with Lafreniere and Panarin, and I think he's honestly helping those guys elevate the game even more. Like, I mean, Panarin's been good the whole year, but you could really see a jump in Lafreniere's game scoring-wise. Like, he was playing good. He's scoring like crazy now, and I just think that the presence of Trocheck, his ability to go down, get the pucks in the corner, he's a good skater, good passer. I mean, he's doing everything well, and he's scoring too. Like, he's been off to an unbelievable start.
Yeah, him and Bonino have been excellent in the face-off circle this year. The Rangers have statistically been one of the best face-off teams in hockey, and this is one of the better Ranger face-offs teams that we've seen in a very long time, which is certainly a credit to the coaching staff and obviously credit to in the front office for bringing in some of these pieces like Trocheck and even Bonino on a very small contract. He's come in and did everything he's been able to ask that we can ask for on in the bottom 6. So you move over to some of the other goals in this game. Lafreniere scored, Wheeler. Panarin also had an empty net goal. Panarin continues to dominate. His streak is now up to 14 game point streak, which has tied Roger Bear for longest point streak in Ranger history. Want to touch on Panarin a little bit here because he's been so good, had an assist in this game. Also, obviously, had the empty netter, continues the roll.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Like, again, like, how could this? It has to be coaching. There's no other other way to explain. I mean, last year, so East-West hockey. How many times in the game have you seen Panarin like curling at the blue line or like throwing the cross ice pass in the neutral zone? He doesn't do that anymore. He plays down the ice hockey, which is like he's one of the best players in the league. It's crazy to think how a coaching staff can maximize their players and how it's insane. It just shows you how bad of a coach Gallant is, or I don't know if it's Laviolette's great or Gallant was bad, but the way that he's playing is like insane. Like he's more aggressive. He's playing north-south hockey, and it just seems like he's just a completely different player this year. And it doesn't seem like he's going to stop. Like maybe we thought, okay, he's a little bit of a hot start. He'll slow down, but he's going. He should be in the MVP conversation, I think.
Oh yeah, easy. I mean, he's putting up. No, I mean, you look at his numbers right now. They're right up there near the top of the National Hockey League. And he leads the team with 24 points, which is crazy to just think about because the next closest is Kreider with 14. So he's by far leading the team in points by 10. He's got the 16 assists, has added on 8 goals. We talked about, again, you mentioned the lack of turnover plays. Last year, he'd have those turnover plays where he just, by the neutral zone, and then a team like, for example, in the postseason, Devils would take advantage of it with their speed, and Panarin wouldn't be able to get back. The shot first mentality this coaching staff is put in him has been so crucial and has been so big, and just another example of how coaching has really paid off this year. I want to talk about Lafreniere because this will be, I think, a good pivot into our next game. Wheeler also scored, which is his first goal as a Ranger, which was nice to see. But I want to get into Lafreniere. I mean, he's been so good as we kind of shift over to this Blue Jackets game where he was dominant, absolutely, won us the game, had the goal to send us to overtime, had the goal also earlier in the game, and had the shootout winner on the beautiful backhand. He has shown a lot of improvements. A lot of it's coaching. A lot of it, too, is just, he's starting to really develop into the player that we've all been waiting to see. What have been your thoughts on Lafreniere? I mean, this is a guy that nationally, I don't think has been getting much attention, but from us Rangers fans, we've seen it. He's been really good.
I think a biggest thing is confidence for him. Like he's skating with I think he's a lot faster and more skillful than he plays with. I think a lot of times he defers a lot, and he's not, or he before the season, he would always defer. I think making plays, like trying to pass the puck up. I think he has that ability to. He's not going to be Connor McDavid, but he could skate with the puck. He's skillful. As you see some of those goals where he goes between the legs, he has that to his game. I think he's got a good shot, and I think now you can really see him growing the confidence. I don't know where, like he could take off now. I mean, he's got the confidence. He's starting to produce the points. You can see a huge takeoff in his game, and I think that it's just really cool to see a guy like Lafreniere, who a lot of people were kind of down on, calling him a bust, starting to come into his own and play some really good hockey for the Rangers. I think that the combination of him and Panarin has been really good to start the season, and seeing him get those big goals too. It's not like he's just scoring like these garbage time goals. I mean, that's a clutch goal. 11 seconds left, and then obviously the shootout goal.
Yeah, that the shootout goal gave me kind of some vibes of like Marty St. Louis on the backhand. That goal was just awesome. So, that was certainly just, and again, you mentioned just the timing of these goals. These aren't goals when the Rangers are down 4-1 where they've mailed it in and he's scoring garbage time goals with 5 minutes left in the third period. These are massive goals, and you got to give credit to this Ranger team for hanging around, sticking in it, because there was some calls that didn't go their way, specifically the goal taken off the board. I'm still kind of scratching my head. Even with them winning the game, I still am wondering why in the world that was not a goal by Will Cooley. What were your thoughts on that play? I mean, what were the refs doing?
I mean, I think that the guy, I assume the call, I don't know if they really were clear about the calling. I think they just said it didn't go over the goal
All I know
line
is it took about an hour for them to make a decision.
Yeah, that was crazy. It was like 20 minutes went by. The game ended like 20 minutes later. I mean, it went to a shootout, but still, like 20 minutes than it should have been. But it seems like the guy lost sight of the puck. The referee didn't blow the whistle. I mean, I guess it was kind of tough to really see where the puck was right away when he shot it, but I don't know if they took in consideration Kako kind of like pushed his pad in. But I don't know if the puck, it was a tough call. I personally think it was a 50-50 call, but the biggest thing, which is a really annoying rule in hockey, is with like the intent to blow. Because like, if that wasn't a rule, it would have been a goal because it was in the net prior to the whistle. But then there's like the gray area where there's like an intent to blow. Like if the referee is about to blow the whistle or he thought the puck was frozen. I don't know. I think it's a really weird rule that they have to fix because that's a judgment call that I think they have to have more of a definitive ruling there. But it went against the Rangers' way, which, I mean, I know we're biased, but it feels like a lot of the calls go against us. But it was a 50-50 call. I don't think it was that bad.
Yeah, I mean, look, they found a way to win. I'm sure if they didn't win, it would have been obviously much more of a talking point. But again, credit to this team for getting the job done. And another one of these games without Igor, and Quick obviously came up big in the shootout, came up big throughout the game. Really good game for him. Outside of Lafreniere, just what were your overall thoughts too on this game? I want to touch on one player again in particular. Is we talked about the defense, but Gustafsson. I mean, I was really excited about him going into this year. He was one of my, I guess, underrated X factors. One of my guys I was really excited. Knows the system, fits what we really needed on the defensive side of things. He's been everything I think we could ask for, and maybe even more. What has been your thoughts on Gustafsson this season? Because I've been really happy with him.
Best contract in the league, I think. He's got like 10 points in 14 games, and he's getting paid like, I believe it's like around $750. I think he's getting the minimum, which is crazy. He's only 31. Probably not going to be able to resign him after this year, but I mean, he's been unbelievable. Filling in that power play, seemingly like he's very good at what Fox does, where he kind of like shoots for those deflections by Kreider, and I think they're going to score with him in the power play. I don't think that's going to be that big of a loss. I mean, obviously he's not Fox, but still pretty good. And then 5-on-5, he's been really good too. He's a very good, really good third line. Like I can't see there's not many defensemen in the league that are better than him as a third pair defenseman. And I think that was an unbelievable signing by Drury. And I think you got to give him a lot of credit this offseason. I feel like as of now, it looks like all the moves he made were good. Like Gustafsson looks really good. Quick looks good. Benino looks good. So and maybe you could say Wheeler doesn't look great, but I mean, again, that was like 700. That was just there was no risk in that signing. He was a minimum contract. So, but Gustafsson's been unbelievable.
Yeah, and they've all been, as you mentioned, like the Rangers with the whole cap situation, and how the deadline obviously all played out last year, and the way the cap situation was going into this offseason. don't know if you want to say handcuffed in a way, but Drury only had a small room for moves. He couldn't,
He
you
also
know,
had to
make
resign Miller
ridiculous.
and laugh.
What do you say?
He also had to resign Miller and
Yeah,
laugh too. So it's not.
exactly. Yeah, and then to bring in, Benino and Gustafson, and they've done everything we could ask for and could have hoped for. But Gustafson's just been he's been so good, and I mean, easily could have had the OT winner ringed off the post, which was obviously they go on to win the game, so it doesn't matter. But just another opportunity for him there as well, as he's been able to generate a good amount of offensive pressure. Just another couple things to note in this game. Trouba had that big hit, which got called again. What Trouba? I feel like there's this notion around how would you consider Trouba when it comes to all these big hits? Because you hear
I
all
don't
these
think they're
Devils
like
fans calling him like dirty, but I don't know.
they're
It's
not
just
dirty hits though. Like,
no.
which is like the craziest thing. I mean, like people
It
nowadays,
was a
like
good open ice hit.
if you see any big hits, oh, it's dirty. Like, I mean, the hit on Lindgren
Yeah,
was dirty. That Corrali came up and
yeah.
elbowed him, and that should have been a 5-minute major. I think
But
that
I
was
know. I don't
worse
know.
than the no goal. I think the no goal call, I think was 50-50. That was straight up like not only the fact that he hit him in the face, but he got hurt. And I think that should be taken into
Mhm.
consideration when making those calls. Like that's dirty. But as far as Trouba, no, I love Trouba has been so good this year.
Yep.
Again, is he worth $8 million? No, but he's a great player to have on your team. The spark that he brings, I think he's a great leader, and he's going to get your power plays by laying out guys and then getting the instigator penalty, which is
Yeah.
great for the Rangers. But I think it's kind of unfortunate for him that he has to fight after throwing clean hits. I think it's stupid. And in this situation, I believe he got a penalty, right? He was the one who got a penalty. We were so dumb.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I feel like I don't I like his style again as he's kind of that, I guess if you want to call it goon type guy like Lindgren that can lay the hit. And
I wouldn't
I mean,
say
I don't know if you
goon.
want to,
He's
yeah,
not.
goon. I mean, he's not
He's a
Lindgren. I
physical
mean, Lindgren
player.
is, yeah.
He's a physical player.
Um, yeah, but I mean, he's just, I don't know. I think, look, fans don't like the Rangers. A lot of people don't. I think also Devils fans, some of these Devils fans are still a little salty about the hit
But
that
that
he
hit
put
on
on Timo
Meyer.
Meyer. Yeah, the
Yeah,
Meyer hit last
that
year.
was a crazy hit. He
Yeah.
lined him up.
Yeah, he destroyed. I don't know how, either way, I don't know how Timo Meyer is still, he knocked him cold. But yeah, I've been impressed with Trouba. I think he's had a lot better of a year so far than his second year as a captain than he did last year. But good leader for this team, and even go back to last year when he threw his helmet. That's what kind of rejuvenated them to start to play a little bit better. And this season, luckily, hasn't had to do that. So, just some other things to note. We talked about Trocheck and I talked about like statistically how good they've been with faceoffs. So in this game, they actually made a little bit of history. Um, they went 45 and 69 in faceoffs in this game, which is a 65.2% faceoff percentage. That was the second most by a team this year, and that was actually the best the Rangers have had since 2017. So they've actually statistically thought that was a really interesting stat just to show and back up how good they've been in the faceoff circle. One of the better Ranger faceoffs teams we've seen in a long time, and one of the best in hockey. And as we talked about a little bit earlier as well, 3-0-1 out without Fox and Hedel. They're finding ways to get the job done. They're also finding ways to get the job done without Igor. So for the upcoming games for the Rangers, as we preview the upcoming week here, again, a long week off, which is good. Hopefully get Igor back and head into New Jersey a little bit healthier there. So they'll get the Devils on Saturday, and they'll get the Stars on Monday, and then they'll get the Penguins on Wednesday. So those are the three games coming up Thanksgiving, and they'll have a back-to-back Friday, Saturday against Philly and Boston. What do you continue to want to see out of this team, and do you expect Igor to be back on Saturday or at least close to that?
Yeah, he should be back. I think he said he's full in practice, no like restrictions or anything, so he should be back. I'm hoping that at least Hedel skates this week. I don't really know what's going on with him that much. They haven't really been.
They haven't heard much
about him. I assume Fox is probably a couple weeks away, probably from even skating. So, but as far as Igor, he probably should be back. And it's just as far as the team, like just continue to play good defense. I think that's the biggest driver of their offense right now. Is besides the power play, I think 5-on-5, a lot of their offense is coming from turnovers that they're forcing. So just continue to play good defense in front of your goaltending, and then be good on special teams because I think they haven't given up like a shorthanded or a power play goal in a while too. They've been really good on the the penalty kills. So if you can continue special teams, continue playing good defense, and then as always, hopefully everybody stays healthy because we already have enough injuries.
Yeah, their power play and penalty kill has been unbelievable this season. I mean, it's their special teams have been great and a big reason where they've really found ways to win. I want to get into one other note, just kind of an overall like NHL note. Obviously, the Oilers fired their coach. They hired Knobloch. I know Knobloch was in consideration for the Ranger job. We all remember when he took over in the COVID season and we were crushing the Flyers in those games that he took over. What are your thoughts on that hire? I'm happy for Chris Knobloch. I think he deserves an opportunity. Again, some Rangers fans wanted to see him get this job. How do you think he'll do in Edmonton? I'm definitely interested to see what he does over there. I think it's a well-deserved coaching opportunity for him.
Yeah, no, he was good for Hartford for all those years. I feel like they didn't have great guys down there for a while, and I think he still did pretty good. I mean, I think now they have a pretty good team as far as just the record-wise and the players. Again, like you said, he was good for those couple games that he came up when Quinn had COVID. I think he might have come up when Gallant. Did he coach when Gallant? I think Gallant missed a game.
He might have. Yeah, he's come up it's here and there. He's come up. I think he's had 3-4 games maybe.
Something like that, but he's been good. I think they've won most of them too.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he's good. I mean, hopefully, I don't have anything against the Oilers. Hopefully they bounce back. I know they've been pretty bad. I know they're almost. They lost to the Sharks. That was pretty bad because the Sharks have been like historically bad. But
I know.
Good for him. I hope he does well. And I don't really know as far as what they did is replacing him in Hartford, but I assume that they probably have a guy that they feel confident in. But yeah, no, good luck for him. Hopefully he does well.
Yeah, the Oilers are a train wreck. I mean, the Sharks, they've got problems. What do you think?
At least with the Sharks though, like
they knew they were going to be bad.
Oilers are like supposedly contenders, which I don't think they are because they don't have goaltending or defense. Kind of like the Devils, where it seems like they're very similar teams. The Devils and the Oilers, where back end they're terribly elite power play, elite offensive team with a lot of speed. Mm-hmm. Which again, you can see in the playoffs that will get shut down right away by teams with good goaltending and good defense. And I feel like that's how you win this league: good goaltending, good defense, and occasionally you have to come through on special teams. And I think the Rangers are built that way. So,
do we ever? Yeah. The big question. You hear a lot of Ranger fans with the whole issue, McDavid comes to Broadway.
That's not gonna happen. Maybe when he's like 37. But
yeah, pull like a Patrick Kane.
All the old guys come his career. What are your thoughts on Patrick Kane? You think that's happening?
Coming here?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Do you want him to come here or no?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't think. I don't really think there's a complete need right now. I mean, if we were struggling, I'd maybe say yeah, but I mean we're winning, and I think we're playing perfectly fine. I don't think we really. I don't know. I don't want Kane personally. I wouldn't be upset if we brought him in, but I wouldn't I don't think it's a need.
People say like, oh, it's so bad. I don't really think that because I think he was still decent last year when he was really injured. So maybe he comes back healthy and you can get a healthy Kane. That would be obviously good, but I don't know what the Rangers really need to add though. When everybody's healthy, I think this team is pretty deep.
Yeah, I feel like when you look at Kane, I heard Florida or the Panthers have popped up in the search. I know the Red Wings are still in there. I know the Sabres. Although the Kane move to the Sabres feels kind of like when they went out and signed Taylor Hall. It's like they're kind of getting a guy at their end of their career.
That's true.
I don't know if that'll blow up in their face, but the Sabres have not been off to the start that I expected.
He's going to go somewhere. I don't think he's going to go to the Sabres. I think he's not going to be able to get a multi-year deal. So he's probably going to go to a contending team 1 year, like the Rangers, Florida, something like that. I don't think he's going to trust him coming off that surgery to really give him years, but it's just something to look at and see. Like I guess it's a possibility. If I had to take a guess, I'd probably say no. They're probably not going to sign him, but I'd be for it though. I mean, kind of, it's Patrick Kane.
Yeah, I wouldn't be against it. I just I don't think I don't really think it's that much of a need, and I also don't think
I think it's just be an ad.
Yeah, it's just but speaking of Kane and the Blackhawks, I mean, Bedard's been very good.
Yeah,
that goal yesterday was dirty. Yeah. So
What Wait,
were you
wait, I
saying?
got a couple,
Yep.
one or two things real quick about Kako. What are your thoughts on Kako? Because a lot of people are
Uh,
talking on him, really down on him. He's got 2 points in 14 games. Like, you think it's more of just unlucky? The
I
Mika is also not playing good. Like, what do you think's happening with Kako?
I thought that Kako, like earlier in the season, he had a couple good chances that he was missing. Like he was getting opportunities and getting chances and was a little bit unlucky. But I'll be honest, the past couple games, like you don't even notice him when he's on the ice.
Yeah.
Like he's kind of disappeared. I'd be lying if I told you that I'm feel good about Kako moving forward. I mean, he has not been good. Lafreniere, Cooley, the young guys. I know. I mean, Hedo before he got hurt, they're all good. And I mean, Lafreniere has been developing, playing well. But in terms of like the Lavalette effect on all the young guys, I think it's probably been the least on Kako. I mean, the numbers show it. And I think I don't know if this sounds too negative. I feel like he's getting worse. I feel like he was better earlier in the season than he is now. Would you agree? I feel like
I don't
these past
know. I
couple
mean,
games, I don't know. It's
he's
just
just
the
he's
Capo
not
Caco
producing
experience is weird.
offensively, but personally, I think the biggest concern, if there is one with the Rangers, is I think Mika and Kreider have been bad 5-on-5. So it seems like
Yeah.
whoever is playing with them just does bad. I know Wheeler's got a couple of points when he's gotten bumped up to that line, but personally, what I would
Yeah.
do is I get you don't really want to make a drastic change because the team is buzzing right now. I think
Mhm.
at some point to even help Mika get going because he's got 2 goals in 14 games, which is a little kind of
Yeah,
concerning too.
it's concerning.
He's got no 5-on-5 goals. He's got the
Nope.
overtime winner and he's got the power play goal. So
Yeah.
that could be concerning. But I really like what Coley's doing. I think a good
I love
line would
Cooley.
be Coley, Kako, and Zibanejad. I think they gotta get for as well as they're playing. They need to get Zibanejad going 5-on-5.
Yeah. Cooley's
So
been I agree. I mean, again, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but Mika it feels a lot like the 2020 season or the COVID season where
struggling early on. You think he's
he's
gonna like
struggling.
explode? Like how many
He
goals do
might
you think he's
explode. I
gonna
mean,
score on Friday on against the Flyers? You think he's gonna
yeah, I was just
4
about to say
goals?
that that's like a game for him to score 4 and we'll win like 8-1.
Yeah,
But yeah, Mika the 5-on-5's got to be a lot better. Like Kreider's really good on the power play. But we've talked about this. Like I like Kreider a lot,
yeah.
and he'll go down as one of the best Ranger like in terms of goals. But
I think maybe like of all time though, because he's
yeah,
just
yeah,
been
all time
because
definitely. I
he's
mean,
been here so
he's right
long.
up there. Yeah, but the 5-on-5, he's not
Yeah,
great with the puck. He doesn't have a great amount of speed. You know,
I think he's
he's
fast, but he like
yeah. I mean,
just like how bad he's not good with the puck, so it's
no,
kind of
he's not good with
hard
the puck.
to keep. It's hard to skate fast with the puck when you're not like
Good
a
with it.
good stick handler and good with the puck. I think he's more of a third line player. But again, I don't know if you really have to make that change now. But I think that's something that I think they're going to do that. I think eventually you'll see
He's a
Kreider and
net
Jet split up.
goblin.
What
He's a
happened?
net goblin.
I mean, no, yeah,
So,
he's
yeah,
easily he's the best
that's
and
what.
he's the best player in the league. When that he'll score like 30. He might score
Oh
30
yeah,
goals this year on just off the power play of like tip-ins.
he might just play around and go off for 50 again.
He might do like if he I could see him scoring 50
And at
because
least, yeah.
I think that's something like a lot of things aren't sustainable in the league with high numbers like that, but I think that's sustainable. Him
What
scoring on a
the
power play,
yeah.
yeah,
Oh yeah, and the power plays.
just
That's
because of
been
how
our
many good players they have, where
that's been our
you take away
strength.
Kreider. I think if the teams start taking away Kreider, though, I think then you'll see Zibanejad probably scoring more. But it's a little concerning. He hasn't really been scoring.
Yeah, Mika has been
He doesn't
worrisome,
really get a
and
lot
yeah,
of chances either, though. That's the thing. Like,
no,
it's
that
not just like he's snake bitten. It seems like he's just not producing.
I'd
I
see.
don't
I'd
know.
feel like it's the same trend we were talking about Kako. Like I felt like earlier in the year, Mika had some good chances,
Yeah,
but recently
missed a
that's
couple
not the
of goals a
case.
lot. Yeah,
Because if I remember, maybe I'm remembering wrong, or I thought there was like a game or two where Mika had like a couple shots that just went off the post, and it was just like it was
was he
unfortunate.
scored a goal right that got called back? Was he the one that scored? Or
Was it
no?
that?
They had 2 goals that called. I think
Was it that Blue Jackets game?
him and Hedel both scored. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think so.
that
I
was
guess
the
you
game
can
they
count
got two
that.
called back.
Yeah, I
So
guess you count that as kind of like being snake bit, scoring and then gets called
mhm.
back.
Yeah, but recently it has been as good. I mean, for a guy his caliber through 15 game or
I
14
think
games, right?
14. Yeah,
14.
2 goals.
Um, 2 goals is pretty ugly. Not gonna lie,
You
numbers
could
don't
also
lie.
say like look at that as like a positive kind of where like the Rangers are playing this good,
I know. Yep.
and
I was just
then
about to
you have
say
guys
that.
like Paco and Zibanejad who were like
I
really aren't
haven't.
doing much. If they
And
start playing good,
and the first line 5-on-5 is got to be a lot better. So you hope, like, you expect if they get better, this team could even be like they're winning, but there's still some underlying issues.
They could definitely
But
score
they're
more goals.
finding ways to win.
Yeah, it seems like they could. They're not. I think they're like middle of the pack in goals per game. So if they can start scoring more 5-on-5 and getting guys going,
Definitely.
they'll be one. I
They're
can't see
one of the
why they
best
can't win the
without
Stanley
that,
Cup this
and
year.
winning one.
It's only November, but
yeah. And I think Lavallette's got to be in the conversation for the
dude,
Jack Adams Award.
If you look at the odds, he's like 11th. Like, he's not high up there at all, which is insane.
I don't know. That
His
doesn't make
odds
sense
aren't
to me.
great, and it's like because it's paramount that it's so obvious that the change of this team has been coaching, because it's the same exact roster.
It's the same roster minus a couple guys here and there, like
You
Wheeler
could even say it's not the
Bonino and
same roster, but all
Gustafson.
the injuries we have too, and he's still doing good.
Yeah, it's all coaching. I've had some people, like some hockey fans, that have asked me, like, well, how are the Rangers so good? Why are they so good? And all I tell them, it's coaching. It's coaching. It's the same thing. If Gallant had this team, the record would probably be not great. Probably we'd be down on the middle of the pack with like the Devils and guys like that, teams like that. We'd be right around there. Carolina would have the division right now. So that's a huge credit to the coaching again. So, any closing thoughts?
Just like I said before, keep up the good defensive coverages and keep creating turnovers, and hopefully everybody stays healthy. We get Hedel, Shesterkin, eventually Fox. Hopefully everybody comes back. But at this moment, I think best team in the league.
Yeah, no doubt. Definitely right up there. And look forward to this weekend against the Devils. It would be really nice to start off 1-0 against them this year.
Yeah, a little revenge. I hope Jack Hughes does play, so the Devils fans can't really make any excuses.
Yeah, because they'll make that's what they've been saying all year. We don't have Jack Hughes. We don't have Jack Hughes. So beat him with Jack Hughes.
I hope. I mean, Fox can't play because the timeline, but
yeah, he's not eligible.
Put Quick in there. Don't have Hedel out there. Don't have Lindgren. Let's put in our C team.
Put Louis Domingue.
Yeah, throw in Louis Domingue. We'll still beat them, and then see what they say.
Yeah, but then I don't know. Devils fans, man, I tell you, last year that was the worst thing that could have happened. But anyway, new season, new team, and they're playing really well. So we'll be back with another episode in a few days, discussing more of some of the top performers in the team where they currently stand, as there is no games, as we mentioned, until Saturday. So a little bit of a break here in action. But we'll still have a lot more content coming your way. As always, hope you enjoyed it. Hit the like button and please subscribe. We appreciate all the support, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.